She said if they're important documents, she said you really got to. So I did the minimum 10.
So what way is it being sent?
Should be there tomorrow.
So I can record it or just the trace?
Yeah, so there's no sign.
Good. And you go over and get the flowers.
All a bunch of pink roses, that was another thing. And then when I was on that list. I have to drop cash to school tomorrow, so
there was nothing in the gift.
it's like the roses. Pink roses. No carnations. No chrysanthemums.
You rarely take carnations. They rarely have carnations.
So there's nothing there.
So where did you finish Saturday?
40.
Yeah, there's your life.
Yeah, when it started from last year. That's that. Yeah, it's taking care of that.
Okay. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda,
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda,
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda,
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda,
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So, Madhya Lila, chapter 15, text 93, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offers prasadam. The Lord also respectfully told Shivananda Sena, take care of Vasudev Datta very nicely. Vasudev Datta is very liberal. Every day, whatever income he receives, he spends. He does not keep any balance. Being a householder, Vasudev Datta needs to save some money. Because he is not doing so, it is very difficult for him to maintain his family. Please take care of Vasudev Datta's family affairs. Become his manager and make the proper adjustments. Purport. Vasudev Datta and Shivananda Singh were living in the same neighborhood, which is presently called Kumarahata or Halisara. Come every year and bring all my devotees with you to the Gundicha festival. I also request you to maintain all of them. The Lord then, with great respect, extended an invitation to all the inhabitants of Kulinagram, asking them to come every year and bring silken rope to carry Lord Jagannath during the Rath Yatra festival. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, Gunaraj Khan of Kulinagram compiled a book named Sri Krishna Vijay, in which there is a sentence revealing the author's ecstatic love of Krishna. Purport. Sri Krishna Vijay is a book of poems considered to be the first poetry book written in Bengal. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur states that this book was begun in the year 1395. Christian era 1473. After 7 years, it was completed in 1402. This book was written in plain language, and even half-educated Bengalis and women could read it very clearly. Even ordinary men with little knowledge of the alphabet could read this book and understand it. Its language is not very ornamental, and sometimes the poetry is not very sweet to hear. Although according to the sonnet style, each line should contain 14 syllables, there are sometimes 16, 12, or 13 syllables in his verse. Many words used in those days could be understood only by local inhabitants. Yet, this book is so popular that no bookstore is complete without it. It is very valuable for those who are interested in advancing in Krishna consciousness. Sri Gurunarjal Khan was one of the topmost Vaishnavas, and he translated the 10th and 11th cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the common man. The book, Sri Krishna Vijay, was highly praised by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is very valuable for all Vaishnavas. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur gives a genealogical table and family history of Gunaraj Khan. When a Bengali emperor named Adisura first came to the Kanya Kubja, or Kanauj, he brought with him 5 Brahmins and 5 Kayashtas. Since the king is supposed to be accompanied by his associates, the Brahmins accompanied the king to help him in higher spiritual matters. The Kayashtas were to render other services. In the northern Indian high country, the Kayashtas are accepted as Shudras, but in Bengal, the Kayashtas are considered among the higher castes. It is a fact that the Kayashtas came to Bengal from northern India, specifically from Kanya Kubja or Kanauj. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur says that the Kayashtas who came from Kanya Kubja were high-class men. And then Dasarat Bhattu was a great personality, and the 13th generation of his family included Gunaraj Khan. His real name was Maladara Vasu, but the title Khan was given to him by the Emperor of Bengal. Thus, he became known as Gunaraj Khan. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur gives the following genealogical table of Gunaraj Khan. Dasrat Vasu, Kushala, Shubha Hamsa, Satirama, Baganda, Mutirama, Mainakara, and Alankara Bangajaj, Damodar, Anantaram, Gunayaka, and Vinanayaka. The 12th generation included Bhagiraj and the 13th Maladara Vasu or Gunaraj Khan. Sri Gunaraj Khan had 14 sons, of whom the second son, Lakshminath Vasu, received the title Satyaraj Khan. His son was Sri Ramananda Vasu. Therefore, Ramananda Vasu belonged to the 15th generation. Gunaraj Khan was a very well-known and wealthy man. His palace, fort, and temples are still existing, and from these we can deduce that the opulence of Gunaraj Khan was certainly very great. Sri Gunaraj Khan never cared for the artificial aristocracy introduced by Balal Sena. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, is my life and soul. By this statement, I am sold into the hands of the descendants of Gunaraj Khan. The full verse referred to is here. With folded hands, I offer my prayers unto Krishna, Nanda Maharaj's son, who is my life and soul. To say nothing of you, even a dog living in your village is very dear to me. What then to speak of others? After this, Ramananda Vasu and Satyaraj Khan both submitted questions at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Satyajit Khan said, "My dear Lord, being a householder and a materialistic man, I do not know the process of advancing in spiritual life. I therefore submit myself unto your lotus feet and request you to give me orders." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Without cessation, continue chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna. Wherever possible, serve him and his devotees, the Vaishnavas." Upon hearing this, Satyaraj said, "How can I recognize a Vaishnava? Please let me know what a Vaishnava is. What are his common symptoms?" Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Whoever chants the holy name of Krishna just once is worshipable and is the topmost human being." Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur says that a person who simply chants the holy name of Krishna once becomes perfect and should be regarded as a Vaishnava. This is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Upadeshamrita. Krishneti yasa giri tamanasa jiyeta. With such faith in the holy name, one may begin a life of Krishna consciousness. But an ordinary person cannot chant the holy name of Krishna with such faith. One should accept the holy name of Krishna to be identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendent himself. As the Padma Purana states, the holy name of Krishna is identical with Krishna and is like a Chintamani gem, a touchstone. That name is Krishna personified in sound and is therefore perfectly transcendental and eternally liberated from material contamination. Thus, one should understand that the name Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. Having such faith, one must continue to chant the holy name. When one is situated on the neophyte platform, one cannot understand the devotional ingredients of a pure, unalloyed devotee. However, when the novice engages in devotional service, especially in deity worship, and follows the order of a bona fide spiritual master, he is a pure devotee. Anyone can take advantage of hearing about Krishna consciousness from such a devotee, and thus gradually become purified. In other words, any devotee who believes that the holy name of the Lord is identical with the Lord is a pure devotee, even though he may be in the neophyte stage. By his association, others may also become Vaishnavas. One is known as a materialistic devotee if he simply worships the deity of Hari with faith, but does not show proper respect to the devotees and to others. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th Canto. Yet even by associating with such a neophyte devotee, one can become a devotee also. When Lord Chaitanya was teaching Sanatana Goswami, he said, "A person who has attained firm faith is a real candidate for advancing in Krishna consciousness." According to the faith, there are first class, second class, and neophyte devotees. One who has preliminary faith is called a Kanishta Adhikari or a neophyte. The neophyte, however, can become an advanced devotee if he strictly follows the regulative principles set down by the spiritual master. Therefore, it is on the basis of faith and attachment to Krishna that one can judge who is a Madhyam Adhikari or an Uttama Adhikari. It is thus concluded that even a neophyte devotee is superior to the Karmis and Gyanis because he has full faith in chanting the holy name of the Lord. A Karmi or a Jnani, regardless of his greatness, has no faith in Lord Vishnu, his holy name, or his devotional service. One may be advanced religiously, but if he is not trained in devotional service, he has very little credit on the transcendental platform. Even a neophyte devotee engaged in worship in accordance with the regulations set forth by the spiritual master is in a position superior to that of the fruitive worker and speculative philosopher. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person is relieved from all the reactions of a sinful life one can complete the 9 processes of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name. Purport. The 9 types of devotional service are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atman, Nivedanam. The process of devotional service entails hearing, chanting, and remembering the holy name, form, pastimes, qualities, and entourage of the Lord, offering service according to the time, place, and performer, worshipping the deity, offering prayers, always considering oneself the eternal servant of Krishna, making friends with him, and dedicating everything to him. These 9 items of devotional service, when directly offered to Krishna, constitute the highest attainment of life. This is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. As for being freed from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of Krishna only once, one must chant the holy name without committing any offenses. Then, chanting one name is sufficient to rescue a living being from all sinful reactions. Such a person who chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly is very important and worshipable. Indeed, the 9 devotional processes, beginning with Shravan and Kirtan, can all be attained at once if one simply chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly. In this regard, Srila Jiva Goswami states in his book, Bhakti Sandarbha, out of the 9 processes of devotional service, Kirtan is very important. Srila Jiva Goswami therefore instructs that the other processes, such as Archana, Vandana, Dasya, and Sakya, should be executed, but they must be preceded and followed by Kirtan, the chanting of the holy name. We have therefore introduced this system in all our centers. Archana, Arti, Bhoga offering, deity dressing, and decoration are all preceded and followed by the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One does not have to undergo initiation or execute the activities required before initiation. One simply has to vibrate the holy name with his lips. Thus, even a man in the lowest class of Chandala can be delivered. Srila Jiva Goswami explains Diksha in his Bhakti Sandarbha, quote, Diksha is the process by which one can awaken his transcendental knowledge and vanquish all reactions caused by sinful activity. A person expert in the study of the revealed scriptures knows this process as Diksha, end of quote. The regular principles of Diksha are explained in the Hari Bhakti Vilas and the Bhakti Sandarbha. Quote, even though born in a Brahmin family, one cannot engage in Vedic rituals without being initiated and having a sacred thread. Although born in a Brahmin family, one becomes a Brahmin only after initiation and the sacred thread ceremony. Unless one is initiated as a Brahmin, one cannot worship the holy name properly. According to the Vaishnava regular principles, one must be initiated as a Brahmin. The Hari Bhakti Vilas quotes the following injunction from the Vishnu Yamana, quote, unless one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again into the animal species. Hari Bhakti Vilas further quotes, it is the duty of every human being to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master, giving him everything, body, mind, and intelligence. One must take Vaishnava initiation from him. The Bhakti Sandarbha gives the following quotation from the Tattva Sakara. By chemical manipulation, bell metal is turned into gold when touched by mercury. Similarly, when a person is properly initiated, he can acquire the qualities of a Brahmin. The Hari Bhakti Vilas further states, in the morning, afternoon, and evening, one should worship the deity, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, offer oblations, perform a fire sacrifice, and feed the Brahmins. These 5 activities constitute Purascharya. To attain full success when taking initiation from the spiritual master, one should first perform these Purascharya processes. The word Pura means before, and Charya means activities. Due to the necessity of these activities, we do not immediately initiate disciples in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. For 6 months, a candidate for initiation must first attend arti and classes in the Shastras, practice the regular principles, and associate with other devotees. When one is actually advanced in the Purascharya Vidhi, he is recommended by the local temple president for initiation. It is not that anyone can be suddenly initiated without meeting these requirements. When one is further advanced by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra 16 rounds daily, following the regular principles and attending classes, he receives the sacred thread, Brahminical recognition, after the second 6 months. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is stated, quote, without performing the Purascharya activities, one cannot become perfect even by chanting this mantra for 100 years. But one who has undergone the Purascharya Vidhi process can attain success very easily. If one wishes to perfect his initiation, he must first undergo the Purascharya activities. The Purascharya process is the life force by which one is successful in chanting the mantra. Without the life force, one cannot do anything. Similarly, without the life force of Purascharya Vidhi, no mantra can be perfected. In his Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami describes the importance of deity worship and initiation or diksha as follows. It is Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. The Bhagavatam enjoins that even without practicing deity worship, one can achieve the complete success of human life by any of the other devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the lotus feet of the Lord for his protection. Nonetheless, Vaishnavas following the path of Sri Narad and his successors endeavor to establish a personal relationship with the Lord by receiving the grace of a bona fide spiritual master through initiation. And in this tradition, the devotees are obliged at the time of initiation to begin engaging in deity worship. Although deity worship is not essential, the material conditioning of most candidates for devotional service requires that they engage in this activity. When we consider their bodily and mental conditions, we find that the character of such candidates is impure and their minds are agitated. Therefore, to rectify this material conditioning, the great sage Narad and others have at different times recommended various kinds of regulations for deity worship. Similarly, the Ramacharana Chandrika states, quote, O best of the Brahmins, even without initiation, preliminary purification, or acceptance of renounced order, one can attain perfection in devotional service simply by chanting the Lord's holy name. In other words, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is so powerful that it does not depend on official initiation. But if one is initiated and engages in Pancharatrika Vidhi, deity worship, his Krishna consciousness will awaken very soon, and his identification with the material world will be vanquished. The more one is freed from material identification, the more one can realize that the spirit soul is qualitatively as good as the Supreme Soul. At such a time, when one is situated on the absolute platform, one can understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. At that stage of realization, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, cannot be identified with any material sound. If one accepts the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as a material vibration, he falls down. One should worship and chant the holy name of the Lord by accepting it as the Lord himself. One should therefore be initiated properly according to revealed scriptures under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. Although chanting the holy name is good for both the conditioned and liberated soul, it is especially beneficial to the conditioned soul because by chanting it, one is liberated. When a person who chants the holy name is liberated, he attains the ultimate perfection by returning home, back to Godhead. In the words of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Lila, simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can attain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. The offenseless chanting of the holy name does not depend on the initiation process. Although initiation may depend on Purascharya or Purascharana, the actual chanting of the holy name does not depend on Purascharya Vidhi or the regulative principle. If one chants the holy name even once, without committing an offense, he attains all success. During the chanting of the holy name, the tongue must work. Simply by chanting the holy name, one is immediately delivered. The tongue is Sevan Mukha Jiva. It is controlled by service. One whose tongue is engaged in tasting material things and also talking about them cannot use the tongue for absolute realization. Atashi Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Braham Indriyai Sevan Mukhe Jivodo Swayam Eva Svaratya Naha. With the material senses, one cannot understand the transcendental holy name of the Lord or his form, activities, and pastimes. But when one actually engages in devotional service, utilizing the tongue, the Lord is revealed. As it said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the holy name of Krishna, his body, and his pastimes cannot be understood by the blunt material senses. They are manifested independently. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one dissolves his entanglement in material activities. After this, one becomes very much attracted to Krishna, and thus dormant love for Krishna is awakened. The holy name of Lord Krishna is an attractive feature for many saintly, liberal people. It is the annihilator of all sinful reactions, and is so powerful, save for the dumb who cannot chant it, it is readily available to everyone, including the lowest type of man, the Chandala. The holy name of Krishna is the controller of the opulence of liberation, and it is identical with Krishna. When a person simply chants the holy name with his tongue, immediate effects are produced. Chanting the holy name does not depend on initiation, pious activities, or the Purascharya regulative principles generally observed before initiation. The holy name does not wait for any of these activities. It is self-sufficient. This verse is found in the Pajavani, an anthology of verses compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then finally advised, one who is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is understood to be a Vaishnava. Therefore, you should offer all respects to him. In his Upadeshamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami states, an advanced devotee should respect the person who has been initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and who is situated on the transcendental platform, chanting the holy name with faith and obeisances and following the instructions of the spiritual master. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments that serving Vaishnavas is most important for householders. Whether a Vaishnava is properly initiated or not is not a subject for consideration. One may be initiated and yet contaminated by Mayavad philosophy. But a person who chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly will not be so contaminated. A properly initiated Vaishnava may be imperfect, But one who chants the holy name of the Lord offenselessly is all perfect. Although he may apparently be a neophyte, he still has to be considered a pure, unalloyed Vaishnava. It is the duty of the householder to offer respects to such an unalloyed Vaishnava. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then turned his attention to three persons, Mukunda Das, Raghunanda, and Sri Narahari, inhabitants of the place called Kanda. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, next asked Mukunda Das, "You are the father, and your son is Raghunandana. Is that so? Or is Sri Raghunandan your father, and you are his son? Please let me know the facts, so that my doubts may go away." Mukunda replied, "Raghunandana is my father, and I am his son. This is my decision." Interesting conversation. All of us have attained devotion to Krishna due to Raghunandana. Therefore, in my mind, he is my father. Hearing Mukunda Das give this proper decision, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed it, saying, "Yes, it is correct. One who awakens devotion to Krishna is certainly the spiritual master." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy just to speak of the glories of his devotees. Indeed, when he spoke of their glories, it was as if he had 5 faces. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then informed all his devotees, "Please hear about Mukunda's love of Godhead. It is a very deep and pure love, and can only be compared to purified gold." Mukunda Das externally appears to be a royal physician engaged in governmental service, but internally he has a deep love for Krishna. Who can understand his love? Purport. Unless Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discloses the fact, no one can understand who is actually a great devotee of the Lord engaged in his service. It is therefore said in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya that even the most perfect and learned scholar cannot understand a Vaishnava's activities. A Vaishnava may be engaged in governmental service or in the professional business, so that externally one cannot understand his position. Internally, however, he may be a Nitya Siddha Vaishnava, that is, an eternally liberated Vaishnava. Externally, Mukunda Das was a royal physician, but internally he was the most liberated Paramahamsa devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew this very well, but ordinary men could not understand it, for the activities and plans of a Vaishnava cannot be understood by ordinary men. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his